bienvenidos a la Deuces Wild Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y presente eso mejor cerveza. No abate por No Filter Network. Miguelito San Dieguito, not with us today. Will the Thrill Clark, not with us today. But he sure as hell seemed like he was in a right field last night catching Patrick Bailey's home run ball. Regardless, each and every single morning we come on here, as you guys know, we like to properly salute our boys and each and every one of you. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Remember this, folks. When we are juiceful, we are useful. And when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant good morning to you on the 10th day of September, 2025. Of course, we are brought to you by the Foot Reflexology Board. That's right. To decrease inflammation, alleviate pain, stand on the board. I do it every single morning. I do it every single night before I go to bed. Go to ericburns.com to purchase a foot reflexology board. While there, you can also get yourself a Let Them Play parenting and coaching guide to youth sports, along with a Daily Hustle 222 unfiltered life guidance from a human crash test dummy. And you guys can also pick up an effortless life lessons from a human crash test dummy. And here you go. Here's a good look for those watching on No Filter Network. That's Flippy. It's a smiling double bird guy. It's not to say fuck you to the world, folks. This is just saying fuck you to all the naysayers, haters, detractors, anybody who is going to get in our way of success. Okay, let's get right into today's Daily Hustle, titled Fearless Endurance. Daily Hustle quote of the day. Once we decide that we can endure anything, all fear dissipates. Daily Hustle translation. Like most people throughout the course of my life, I certainly have encountered fear. Whether it was stepping in a Major League batter's box for the first time, broadcasting live in front of millions, treading water before my first Ironman triathlon, towing the start line of the Western States 100, jumping into the San Francisco Bay to start the triathlon across America, teeing off for the 24-hour world record golf challenge, or playing in my first pickleball tourney. There has always been some element of fear that has accompanied these significant experiences. Fear of the unknown and fear of failure are inherent by nature and very common amongst all of us. So the question becomes, how are we supposed to deal with it? Well, when we become willing to endure whatever challenges and perceived failures come our way, we naturally will embrace our fears and inevitably let them go. Yup, this may sound a bit fucked up, but when we become okay with the possibility of failing miserably, which could include striking out, tripping over our words, DNFing a race, or getting our ass whipped on a pickleball court, this should in turn dissipate our fears and allow us to freely and fearlessly perform whatever task we have to the very best of our ability. EB. Okay, so yeah, I like this one. And the reason being is that fear is something that we all encounter. And the question it has always become, and I thought about this, when I was a young kid and then obviously playing sports at a very high level, that fear, that anxiety, the butterflies, like this is all real. And I know there's times when we may try to ignore it or out macho what that fear, anxiety feeling is. But what I've come to realize is that we're much better off embracing it. And the best way to embrace it is almost to think to ourselves, well, fuck it. What's the worst case scenario? I come up in a big situation, I strike out. Oh, well. A ball comes to me, I happen to drop the ball. Oh, well. There's so many things in life, even that I've partaken in, be it my first Ironman triathlon, where it's like, well, look, my biggest fear was not getting out of the water. And so once I was able to complete that swim, one swim stroke in front of the others, the only way I could think about it, the rest of the day was cake. But when you look at it and you think to yourself, okay, if, say, for example, the 24-hour world record golf challenge didn't work out, what's the worst that could happen? I didn't complete it. Well, once you get going in emotion, for me, all the other bullshit goes away. The fear is created by the anticipation. And again, once we, in our minds, become okay with whatever is going to happen, then that's when the fear goes away. That's been so helpful, I know, for me in my life, because action eliminates everything when it comes to the mental side of things, where once I get going, once we get started, right, we don't think about it. But it's all the anticipation leading up to the event that inevitably slows us down and then lets that fear creep in. So when it creeps in, take a step back, bird's eye view, and say, fuck it. All right. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Now, that doesn't mean we have to be okay with striking out, okay with DNFing a race, getting our ass kicked on a pickleball court, whatever it is. That's not it. We just make sure we control everything within our control, our preparation, our attitude, our effort. And then when we take care of those things, the rest is out of our hands. So, once again, in order to dissipate the fear, be willing to endure. Okay, Major League Baseball last night, sat there and watched the Giants game. And holy shit, man, Willie Adames is on fire. Now, what happened was Zach Gallen was on the mound. He throws an inside fastball. Adames fouls it off his knee. He then goes hobbling around. Trainer comes out. Bob Melvin comes out. Gets back in the box eventually. And here's a note to all pitchers. Here's a note to all hitters. We know what's coming next. The exact same fucking pitch. Well, Willie Adames makes the adjustment, stays inside it, and buggy whips this thing deep into the San Francisco night, halfway up the bleachers in left field. Just fucking brilliant. Now, if you're the Diamondbacks, if you're Zach Gallen, look, folks, for the longest time, we know that that is the play to come back in. So I think next time in that situation, you might want to think about it. But the first thing I did notice after Adames hit this homer, once again, was Drew Gilbert. The passion, energy, effort, and juice that this guy has brought to the San Francisco Giants dugout, clubhouse, on the field is fucking invaluable. It is authentic. It is real. It is fucking wacky. And I absolutely love it. He is literally the spark plug that has ignited this team to get back into the race. Sure, there's 15 different directions that we could point to say, oh yeah, this is why they all of a sudden got back into it. And I'm with you. Sure, there's a lot of things that have to go right in order for them to have this dramatic turnaround like they have, winning 13 of their past 16 games. But the one common denominator in all of it is Drew Gilbert. And the way he has brought this youthful exuberance is just fucking awesome. It is everything the San Francisco Giants needed. Look, they have leaders. They have the guys in that clubhouse, whether it's Logan Webb or it's Matt Chapman. Great. But those guys aren't necessarily the rah-rah sort of dudes. These are ultimate professionals. These are guys that, more than anything, they lead by example. They post up. They go about their business. They get the job done. And they certainly serve as leaders. But this is the great thing about the dynamics of a baseball team, is that you have to have a little bit of everything. And Drew Gilbert was that missing fucking piece. Now, what does this mean going forward for the Giants and whether or not going to make the playoffs? Look, I don't know. What does it mean for Drew Gilbert and whether or not he's going to be a long-time major leaguer? I don't know. I do know that for right now, he's the right dude in the right fucking spot. And this is absolutely electrified the San Francisco Giants in every which way possible. So it will be fun to watch and see this play out through the end of the season. And then obviously we at No Filter Network and Deuces Wild Daily Hustle will be rooting for Drew Gilbert. This is a former first-round draft pick, University of Tennessee. And if you go back and watch some of the footage of Gilbert back in his college days, it was even fucking more outrageous and outlandish than what he has presented here at the big league level. Remember this, folks. He's just getting comfortable right now in that Giants clubhouse. So I would love to see him have success because ultimately, look, he could be the team mascot, but if he's not putting up numbers, he's not going to be on the team. So long as he's able to go out there and be relatively productive, yeah, and he has a role, a very distinct role, he is going to be huge for the San Francisco Giants, not just this season, but in many more seasons, ideally going forward. He's already been traded twice. He was drafted by Houston, traded to the Mets, and then traded to San Francisco in the Rodgers deal right before the trade deadline. So that's just been really, really cool to watch. All right. The other thing is, and I mentioned it in the open, Patrick Bailey, good for him, getting back into the swing of things, finally looking like a big league hitter again. Gets a hanging curveball and hits a nuke to right field. And in right field, there was a guy in a Will Clark jersey who reaches way up and over and snags this thing in the front row of the bleachers. They then kind of hold this guy up. Just so fucking smooth. So good. And did a video on it last night. Sent it to Thrill. I'm not sure if Thrill found it as amusing as I did, but he definitely gave me I think it was 3 of these emojis for that play. But that was very cool to see. Okay, let's check this out. No filter. Okay, I don't know if you guys lost me or not. Started playing with this iPad here. But we have the favorites now to win the World Series. This is just got released. And number one, I think, is no shock to anybody. But number two, in my humble opinion, is just off. So we'll start with one. We usually like to work backwards. But this is so clear that we all know it's the Dodgers. They have a 16.6% chance to win the World Series according to Fangraphs. It says, how do these odds feel like? The computers are singing I Love LA a bit too loudly. Why? Obviously, the Dodgers have not been the super team they were expected to be, and that's reflected in their FG World Series odds dropping. It was at 22.9% at the start of the season. You could argue that they still should be the outright favorites simply because they employ so many human beings plus Shohei Ohtani who are good at playing baseball. That's kind of funny. 16.6% is pretty high for one. At the moment, the Dodgers aren't even in a position to take the wild card round off. We could argue all we want about the rest and the rust, but not having to win a best-of-3 series gives you better odds of advancing than having to win the best-of-3. That's just pure science. All right, here's number 2. Look, the Dodgers about being healthy. Being healthy and going out there and playing your ability. Mookie Betts getting hot. That team scares me. Still the odds-on favorite, and I think by far. I would increase that number probably a little bit higher and say they still have about a 25% shot of winning the World Series. All right, number 2 here. This is where I think Fangraphs is off. The Yankees. 13.2%. I just don't like it. I really don't. Like Buck Martinez said, I don't think they're a great baseball team. I know. Outside of hitting the home runs, defensively, they're not very good. Base running, they don't run. The base is great. Putting the ball in play, they're not that good at doing that either. None of that plays in the fucking postseason. We saw a lot of things go right for this team to get to the World Series last year, and they also had put themselves in position to win a couple games in the World Series. But that just went to absolute shit when their defense went to shit, when their base running went to shit, when they did not do the little things that they should have been able to do. All right, 3 on the list here. And I would say these odds are probably a little high too. The Blue Jays. I get it. I love what they're doing north of the border. I get it. I understand it. Look, Bo Bichette's having a fucking hell of a year. He's actually just got hurt, so they're going to need to get him back. He has 40-something doubles. He's been absolutely knocking the cover off the ball. I just, not that high. Not that high. No way. Number 4 here, the Brewers. They're at 9.4%, so that's below the Blue Jays. This is how do these odds feel? Like the underrated city of Milwaukee itself, the Brewers are not being shown enough love. I couldn't agree more. Phillies are at 9%. I think this is low. I'd put that a bunch higher. Look, I don't know who's getting out of the National League, and this is where I think the biggest test is going to be. But whether it's the Dodgers, whether it's the Phillies, or it's the Brewers, and I would say those 3 are the odds-on favorite. I mean, it's tough to overlook San Diego at this point too, but I would set them up as being the favorite to win the World Series. They look good. Kyle Schwarber, 50 home runs now. Trey Turner, hurt. They're saying he's coming back. Trey Turner was having a fucking unbelievable year. But he's dealing with a hamstring right now, so who knows? And then the other team with a pretty significant shot still, they have them 8.9% of winning the World Series. The Detroit Tigers. It says, how do those odds feel? Perfectly orderly as opposed to chaotic. Why? The pitching chaos stuff was a real pleasure to watch last season when the Tigers went on their out-of-nowhere run to the division series, but frankly, they should be above all that by now. The Tigers' bullpen has not performed well this year. And an iffy trade deadline, they are still too reliant on Tariq Skubal in the rotation to be considered a true favorite to advance all the way to the World Series. Even with their likely baked-in seeding advantage, they strike out a lot too. Mariners are at 7.9%. The Mets, 7.3%. The Astros down to 5% at number 9, and the Padres are sitting there. The Cubs at 4.2% now, and the Padres at 4%. No way I'd put the Cubs above the Padres. So there are your current MLB odds of winning the World Series. Speaking of the Cubs, Anthony Rizzo, a little tip of the cap, announcing his retirement. He signed in a one-day contract with the Cubs. I think we'll join them in some sort of advisory role. He was the guy that caught the last out of the World Series, hoisted the hands in the air. By all accounts, just a fucking awesome dude, an absolute joy to watch play. Savage first baseman, Platinum Glove Award winner. This is a guy, I think he was a 3-time All-Star. Loved watching him hit, though. Loved the two-strike approach. He used to go leg kick to just literally like hands drill. Ball player. And Anthony, it was a joy to watch you play. It sure was fun. And then the last thing I want to hit here. You guys all saw the incident that took place with Philly Karen. A home run was hit. This is in Miami. And then after the home run is hit, the ball looks like it was resting in a row in front of this woman. A guy came from, I don't know, maybe a couple rows over, jumps down, grabs the ball, takes it back to his kid, gives the ball to his kid. He was so fired up, drops it in his glove. They're kind of sitting there celebrating. And here comes this woman. Just ta. Gets in the guy's face, says, "That's my ball." Then finally you could tell, like, the dad's like, "Dude, fuck this. Like, look, lady, I don't give a fuck that much." Took the ball from the kid, gave it to her, and she marches back off. She's now been getting fucking roasted across the internet. I mean, absolutely fucking destroyed time and time again. So they have all kinds of memes and everything else going on with her. Look, I love to say I feel for the woman, but I don't really. You created this. Now, what would you do if you are the woman? Literally, this is almost like a Bartman situation where it's like she can't go out in public. She's going to have to change her appearance. I don't know what fucking job she has. I haven't done my research on her, anything else, but she's going to go back to work on whatever day it is, which was probably Monday, and everybody is going to be talking about her. What do you do if you're her at this point? We had this conversation at the dinner table last night, and I had it with my kids and Tara, and I thought it was fun because, look, she fucked up, and I don't know if she truly is a bitch in life. If they, all accounts, it certainly seems like she is. She started flipping everybody off afterwards because she was getting booze rained down upon her, and obviously she doesn't look like a woman who it's set to apologize. But really, I think the only thing she could do at this point is if she came out publicly and said, "I screwed up. I got over emotional. The ball was there. I literally was just about to pick it up. I felt like the guy stole it from me. And in a fit of rage, I went and grabbed it back. And in hindsight, obviously, I should have done that. I'm sorry. I'm going to put the ball up for auction. And then throw whatever number it is on it. You put it up for auction and you raise money for the charity of the kid's choice who she stole the ball from. That would be the ultimate best way to deal with it. Now, is that going to happen? Doubtful. But there is an article here saying that a company offered $5,000 for the ball that the Phillies fan took from the kid. It says a Philadelphia Phillies fan who took a home run ball away from a child after berating the boy's father during Friday night's game against the Marlins can land a nice payday for the souvenir. But there's a catch. Blowout Cards, a major trading card retailer, announced it will pay the woman who ended up with the ball $5,000 if she hands it over with her autograph that inscribes, quote, "I'm sorry" on the ball. The company said it will return the baseball to the child. Our offer is official and the offer is firm. So we'll continue to follow that story. As a matter of fact, you know what? Fuck it. I think I'd pay 10 grand for that ball. I really would. Why not? I mean, this is the ball. And then, like you said, like you return to the kid. But look, the kid, and kudos to the Phillies and kudos to, it was Harrison Bader, who had signed the bat, I think, that he hit the home run with, or at least a bat that he ended up giving to the kid. So the kid's probably got way more run out of this than if he were just able to keep the home run ball. I think $5,000 is light. I think this ball, as we know, is infamous. And as is proven in sports history, and especially with these crazy collectors, in order for them to be able to get this ball and have this ball, I think they surely would pay at least 5 figures for the ball. So, again, a story that I think is worth following. All right, everyone have a fantastic day. Back at you tomorrow with another Daily Hustle. I want to check the games for today, by the way, before we go. I think that's always important. Brewers are at the Rangers. They're actually up 2-0. The end of the first right now. Then we have the Red Sox at the A's. The D-backs once again at the Giants. This could be a day game. Start at 12:45. Getting going here shortly. Twins at the Angels. A lot of day games here on this Wednesday. Pirates at the Orioles. That started 3:35 p.m. Pacific, so that's a night game. Then you got Kansas City at the Guardians. 3:40 p.m. Pacific time. Nationals at the Marlins. Mets at the Phillies. Tigers at the Yankees. That's the MLB Network Showcase game. That should be a good one. Yankees, by the way, got fucking throttled last night by the Tigers, giving up 9 runs in the 7th inning. Astros at the Blue Jays. Blue Jays walked them off yesterday. Cubs at the Braves. Rays at the White Sox. Reds are at the Padres again. And Fernando Tatis Jr., by the way, his 4th homer that he's robbed in, I don't know, it was like the past 20-something games. Just fucking insane. He is surely a Gold Glove winner, potential Platinum Glove winner again this year. He is that fucking good in the outfield. Cardinals at the Mariners. Cal Raleigh looking to tie Mickey Mantle. He is at 53 home runs. 54 is the switch hitting record of all time. And then the Rockies at the Dodgers. 7:10 p.m. Pacific time will be the late game. Rockies 40-105. Dodgers 81-64. All right. Now we got that squared. Everyone have a fantastic day. That's it. See ya.